Today we're talking about soil, and we're going to get specific and just kind of addressing the differences between germinating mix and a regular potting soil, and what the job is of those, or what you should be using them for.
How many of you start your seeds? So if you start seeds, what kind do you start? Do you start vegetables? Do you start
some flowers?
Yep.
Is that real easy? Like my mom will start a bunch of flowers inside.
And she goes, I know way too early, but I just want to see them grow.
Yes.
But if you hear that noise, it's raining here.
Yeah.
So you're going to hear that.
It's not snow. I can't believe just 1 week ago we had 3 feet of snow and drifts that were like nuts.
But
4 or 5 feet
if you hear that noise, or you hear us talking louder, it's because it's very noisy.
It's raining and it gets really noisy in the greenhouse. I'll take the rain at this point. I'm tired of snow.
So what do you have here?
So I seeded up some calendulas, and so this is a flower that we use this for a lot. The golf courses were actually the ones that were requesting calendulas. They look a lot like a marigold, but they have a lot of deer.
Cushion.
Yeah, kind of a button, a rounder flower that's a little more straw-like, I guess. Kind of, it's
a little bit.
I don't want to say prickly, but it's more like a straw flower type of. But the deer don't like them, so the golf courses love using calendula. So I start calendula from seed, and I use germinating mix. So I'm going to show the germinating mix. You got that one?
I'm like Vanna.
Right. So the germinating mix is a very light, airy soil that we use specifically for starting seeds. And if you're starting seeds at home, I really do recommend using a germinating mix, because that seed has to push up through that soil, and that'll give you a much better start. If you're trying to use, now potting soil, will it work? Yeah, but you'll have a much better success with a germinating mix. If you're trying to start seeds in something heavy like a topsoil, it's going to be really tough.
So look at just the difference in the colors, what's in it.
Yeah, the potting soil, and we're going to use potting soil as a general term. I know that some people get stuck on, actually, my professor says that potting soil by definition is, we don't care. We're just calling this potting soil. It's yes, I've had that conversation with people. Like, the little know-it-alls.
Okay, going on.
Actually, it's really, technically speaking, we don't care, little Billy. Okay, so we're just going to call this potting soil, the general term. But the germinating mix is, it has a very high, you're still laughing, it has a very high, lots of peat moss in this. And I don't know if they like really fluff it up, but you go to grab a bag of potting soil. It's maybe 40 pounds for the size that we have, that 2.8 cubic foot. And this, I don't know, I've never weighed it, but I bet it's only maybe 15 pounds or so. I mean, you can just grab it with hand, even though it's the same volume. It's very light. And there, you can see the little white hunks that's crushed up perlite. And it's just kind of giving that a little more airiness to it. Perlite weighs nothing. It's like a ground up volcanic rock. Somebody else would be like, actually,
okay, no.
So there's crushed up perlite in there. But if you want to start seeds at home, try a germinating mix. You'll just have a much better success rate with that. Also, I would get a heating mat if you're going to start your tomatoes or peppers. Today I'm starting all of our peppers for our normal crop. So I've got my trays all ready to roll with germinating mix, and I'll be seeding peppers today.
There is some plants that like to be in a little bit lighter soil. They don't want to have their feet, like portulaca, moss rose, vinca.
Yeah, yep.
That type of plant that likes to be on the drier side. Sometimes you will add some germinating mix into this just to lighten it up even more.
Yeah, so having a bag of germinating mix at home, if you're starting seeds, yeah, absolutely. But if you have a really heavy soil, or maybe that potting mix that you got is really chunky, maybe really heavy, go ahead and throw some germinating mix in there. Or if you have beds that are, that you use topsoil. That topsoil is really heavy, and you might have to thin it down with something like a germinating mix, just to kind of, it shouldn't be really, really heavy, because the flowers are struggle. But again, that germinating mix is, think of that little seed that's going in here. If it's trying to push and push and push against something that's really heavy, like a potting mix or a topsoil, it's going to struggle, and your success rate's going to go way down. So using germinating mix is just going to help you succeed with starting your seeds at home.
So what's the difference between a potting mix? So we got the difference between a germinating mix and a potting mix. What's the difference between a potting mix and a topsoil?
A topsoil is going to be that organic, basically years and years of broken down foliage, and that it breaks down, and it's really pretty heavy. Now you can buy bags of topsoil, or you might call up your local landscaper and get a load of topsoil, but it's heavy. So
you wouldn't use potting mix to fill in a hole in your yard.
Right.
I tried doing that.
Yeah.
And it's too light, it's too airy. It just kind of sank back down.
But if you have flower beds,
that's a different story.
You just have topsoil in there, you're going to want to add in some potting mix to lighten it up. Generally speaking, topsoil is going to be way too heavy for your flower beds. So, and if it's really heavy, maybe go down another notch to something that's really light, like the germinating mix. But certainly, if you're starting seeds at home, try the germinating mix. This is Jolly Gardener. Again, we like using the Jolly Gardener. We've used Sun Grow. We use the Pro Mix. Those are all good, 3 great brand names that are actually endorsed by actual greenhouse growers. If you're getting something at the big box retailer, it's just poo-poo. That's the best I can come up with. So, but anyway, so that's what's on the agenda today for me, is seeding and unloading semi-trucks. In between, we're going to be seeding, and I don't know how many peppers we grow. It's a lot. But I'll go through and we'll take some video of that, of how we actually do it with these seed trays.
Yeah, so we take the old seed trays that are the old trays, the plug trays that came in with all the rest of our plants.
Yeah.
And he uses them as...
I repurpose.
Because then it makes it really easy.
Look at that.
When we go to plant.
Yeah.
And then, look how cute that is. So it just makes it easier on us. But
And this
that's
is
why he's using that.
This is called a 288 tray. So you can see there's 288 cells in this tray. So that's why it's called a 288. There's also a 512 tray, which has 512 cells. So it's about half the size of this one. The cells are half the size. So we get
the size of them.
Yeah. So I like using these 288s. They give a nice good start. That's how we start all of our vegetable crops.
Do you have those on our website?
I think so. If not, I can get it on there. I'm pretty certain we do have plug trays on our BYNneighbor.com website. Thanks for just...
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think so. We'll check right after we get off of this here. So, but anyway, so that's what's on the agenda today, is going through and getting some plug trays ready for peppers. The peppers we start about a week before we start our tomato crops, because they take a little bit longer to germinate, and they're just a little slower growing. So that's why a good week ahead is when we're starting our pepper crop. So here's another tip for you that have peppers at home. Aphids love peppers. That's kind of just my rule of thumb. If you have peppers, you probably have aphids. They are just absolutely attracted to it, and you're going to want to make sure that you're preparing for that with like a systemic insecticide, or just stay on top of it, because they'll go through your peppers and destroy
them. There's some little bugs that are beneficial that will eat aphids. If they're trying to be organic.
Yeah.
So check it out.
Yeah, here's another tip. Don't bother with these DIY homemade soapy. I'm going to use Dawn dish soap, then that'll kill
aphids.
That'll kill the aphids. No, it will not. Aphids are tough. They're really hard to kill. If you spray your aphids with soapy water, now you just have clean aphids that will reproduce and reproduce and reproduce. So yeah, you actually have to hit them pretty hard. So that's why we practice a pest management going through, and because we have peppers, so therefore you're probably gonna have aphids. And they're naturally
and
there.
They love
they'll
calibrachoas too.
Oh yeah, we battled that all last year.
Calibrachoas are, I think they came in on a calibrachoa, and it was just like,
once they got going, and
yep.
And you know we were hitting them hard, and it slowed them down, but they kept going. So yeah, aphids
it's
are
always
not
something we're very aware of.
Aphids are not something to mess with. Do not bother with the DIY sprays. It's not gonna do anything. But anyway, so today's job is peppers. So we'll show you a little bit on that. We'll try to make sure that we do some videos and showing how we seed peppers.
Very good.
All right.
So retailer of the day.
Yes.
Because it's been like every day we need to keep up on this.
Oh yeah, otherwise we won't get through them. So Allen's Garden in Derry, New Hampshire. And they're not open yet. They open on April 25th. So they're a seasonal greenhouse. So you know, like you do have to check those greenhouses. They might be seasonal. They might not be open all year long. So be sure to jump on their Facebook and see if they have an opening date, or call them and see.
And to all of our
greenhouse
friends,
yeah,
please update your Facebook pages.
Yes, or
Very
your Google listing.
Yes,
because that's where when we put you on our BYNneighbor.com website, it's drawing that from that Google listing. So if your Google listing is out of date, that information will also be out of date on our website.
And Google likes to change hours every so often.
Yes.
Like they're like, well, we assume that you're open these hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I never posted that anywhere.
Yes.
So always, kind of double check. If you're looking on Google, maybe also jump on their Facebook page and just confirm what they say. But if you're only posting on your Facebook page one time a year.
About 3 times a year, we have to go through and update our Google page, because Google decides, no, you're open Sundays, you're open, and they just decide their own thing. So yeah, if you're a greenhouse, if you're a business, and you have a Google listing, make sure that you stay on top of that and update that, because they will go through and just update it for you.
And update
we think
your
it should be open this day.
Yeah. Update your Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very important. There's your tip of
your
day.
business tip. Okay, so
With
thanks for joining us.
We have more semis coming, so.
Right, and tomorrow, guess what tomorrow is?
Fertilizer Friday.
Fertilizer Friday. So we will be talking about our Beat Your Neighbor fertilizer, and tomorrow's topic is stepping up from a hose end sprayer now to a fertilizer injector. And I think you're gonna want to check this out. It's don't think that it's out of your price range. So it sounds, it is a commercial. It's more expensive, but you're gonna want to stick around and check that video out, because time is money.
If you have a lot of flowers, this is kind of the way to go.
It's the T-swizzle, as our kids would say.
I don't think our kids say that.
Probably not. Okay. All right.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.